Hello and welcome. We're going to do a short program for your shoulders. We're going to use a tennis ball or a pinky ball, and we're going to do some myofascial release techniques to help your shoulders feel fabulous. The first thing we're going to do is your chest point, because your chest muscles, they affect how your shoulders sit in neutral, and tight chests are the reason why we're rounded forward. So we're going to start releasing the chest. So I'm going to ask you to find your collarbone, and where you feel that bone of the collarbone, you're just going to come down underneath it, somewhere in the middle of the collarbone and slightly below it. So you're on the flesh rather than the bone. Then using a wall, you turn and you lean into the ball, into the wall, and you turn your head typically away from the ball. Let the arm hang down and let it be nice and relaxed, and just lean in until you feel that pressure. Stay where you are. So as you're leaning in and you're feeling that pressure here in the ball, I'm going to invite you to just glide. So as you glide, the ball kind of rocks from side to side about an inch. Now you might get tingling sensations down the arm, which is great. Really embrace that. Let that happen. And what we're doing here is you're rocking side to side, leaning into that ball. We're releasing the clavicular head of the pec major. It's so important to release this muscle to help release your shoulders. We'll just do 2 more breaths here. Let the arm hang down. Hold it nice and still now. And then release. Now you're going to the reverse of that. So if you were to take the ball up and over the top of your shoulder and into the back, you would now be on the trap point, the trapezius, and that's where we're going. So we just go up and over. And now this time we lean back onto that trap point. Now be careful you're not elevating your shoulders. Let your shoulders go down. And again, the ball is somewhere in the middle between where your spine and your arm bone is. And you're just finding some nice juicy flesh. There's lots of juicy flesh back there, and it's very easy to find something that's talking to you. And we're just pinning that point, which means just hold it still and breathe. And then we're going to glide it. So the same as you did on your chest, you just rock back and forth, only slightly, just so you can keep the pressure in that point. You just rock backwards and forwards, feeling that yumminess as you release all those knots and all that tension that sits in that trapezius muscle group. And then hold that still, just pin that pressure, relax the arm, and then release. Now you could stay on both those points a lot longer than what we've done in the video, so feel free to stay longer. The last one I'm going to give you is for the arm line. So this arm line, again, it impacts the way your shoulders sit. If this was the top of the shoulder, I'm going to come down about 2 inches and I'm going to lean side on to the wall. And as I lean into that wall, I need to maintain posture. I need to make sure I'm not elevating. So slide those shoulders down the back body. Maintain that lovely pressure as you just lean right into the wall. Stay where you are. So again, as you're leaning in, you're in control of how much weight you are pressing into that arm. Now I'm going to invite you to bend your knees. And as you bend the knees, the ball is going to slide up and down just about an inch. Should feel really nice. But again, you might get sensations in your wrist and your fingers, because we're trying to release all the tissues that surround the cap of that shoulder. to help bring your shoulders into alignment and also to release all that tension in the neck and upper back. So just a couple more like this, up and down, and then hold, and then release. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to start with the chest, the clavicular head. So where your collarbone is, find that collarbone. In the middle of that collarbone, come down slightly so you're on tissue and lean into the wall. Turn your head away from the ball, relax your arm down, and just pin that point. So we're just pinning the pressure. We don't want it to be super aggressive. So we typically say find a pressure that's about 5 or 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. That way we get a nice release and it's nothing too aggressive. Now start to glide back and forth. And as you glide back and forth, releasing that chest muscle so your collarbones can sit in neutral, so your shoulders are not pulled forward. All that yummy goodness by doing this small ball release. And then hold it, pin that pressure again, relax the arm, and then release. So you go directly over the top, finding the same point on the back of the body. So you're in the trapezius muscle. This is usually quite juicy. So I'm sure you'll find a nice, yummy point to lean into. I'm working with a tennis ball today. You can do the same thing with a pinky ball as well. Now, again, you're pinning the pressure. So you're leaning back until you feel pressure that is sustainable, that isn't aggressive, that feels nice. Because this is all self-massage technique. Relax the arm and then just start to glide back and forth. Just a nice, gentle rock. So your movement's really only about 1.5 inches, maintaining that pressure. And there are more points to do, but this is our express sequence for the health of your shoulders. Last one, hold it there, and then release. And then now come to the lateral head, so the side of your body. Drop it down about 2 inches from the top, side onto the wall, lean in. Apply that pressure, let the arm hang down. Be careful you're not elevating your shoulders. Shoulders drop. And you're feeling that nice pressure in the arm. Sending the sensations down to the elbow and the wrist. And then on this one, we bend the knees. So we actually glide the ball up and down in this technique. Should feel really good. Again, relax your fingers, relax your wrists. Gliding up and down. And then hold the pressure point. And then release. And that's our short program for healthy shoulders using the ball.